You are finally about to fall asleep. The room is dark, your phone is down, nothing is happening. And then your brain shows you something from 12 years ago. The joke nobody laughed at, the name you forgot. The moment you waved back at someone who was waving at the person behind you, your entire body reacts as if it just happened. But the real reason is far stranger than bad timing. That memory is not returning because your brain enjoys humiliating you. It is returning because, for most of human history, social mistakes were survival problems. And when the modern world finally becomes quiet, an ancient review system gets the empty room it has been waiting for. During the day, your attention is expensive. Traffic needs it. Messages need it. Work needs it. Other faces, voices, decisions, and small emergencies keep arriving before the previous ones have fully disappeared. Your brain has limited space for conscious thought, so unfinished material gets pushed aside. Not erased, just postponed. Then you lie down. The lights disappear. Movement stops. New information slows to a trickle. Suddenly, the memory that could not compete with a ringing phone has no competition at all. It walks onto an empty stage. This is why the experience feels nocturnal, even though the machinery behind it is active all day. Night does not necessarily create the embarrassing thought. Night removes everything that was drowning it out. But why that memory? Why not a normal lunch from 6 years ago? Why not the hundreds of conversations in which nothing went wrong? Because your memory is not a neutral archive. It is a prediction system. Your brain does not preserve every moment with equal care. It gives priority to events that might teach you what to approach, what to avoid, and what could threaten your place among other people. Embarrassment is built for exactly that job. It appears when you believe you have violated a social expectation while others can see you. Your face warms. Your posture collapses. Your eyes search for an exit. You may laugh, apologize, explain too much, or pretend nothing happened. Those reactions are not random. They broadcast awareness. They tell the group that you noticed the mistake and still understand the rules. In that sense, embarrassment can protect your reputation. It is uncomfortable partly because discomfort makes the lesson difficult to ignore. For your ancestors, reputation was not a decorative layer on life. It affected access to food, protection, partners, information, and cooperation. A person repeatedly ignored by the group faced more than awkward silence. So the brain became sensitive to social errors. Not perfectly sensitive. Often absurdly sensitive. Thomas Gilovich, Victoria Medvec, and Kenneth Savitsky demonstrated one reason in a famous series of studies on what they called the spotlight effect. People wearing an embarrassing t-shirt entered a room and then estimated how many observers had noticed it. They believed far more people had noticed than actually had. The mistake was predictable. You experience your own embarrassment from the center. You feel the heat in your face. You hear the sentence echoing in your head. You know exactly what you meant to do and exactly how badly the result differed from the plan. Everyone else sees a few seconds from the outside. They do not receive the internal alarm. They are occupied by their own clothing, their own voice, their own unfinished tasks, and their own private collection of mistakes. You know intellectually that other people are busy thinking about themselves. Yet your memory is built from your point of view. So when it returns, the imagined audience returns with it. The room in your head is always full. That creates a strange distortion. The event may have lasted 3 seconds, but your brain has replayed it for 3 years. Repetition makes it feel important. Importance makes it easier to retrieve. Easy retrieval makes it return more often. A tiny social mistake can become mentally enormous without ever becoming important to anyone else. Then another process takes over. Researchers studying social anxiety call it post-event processing. After an uncomfortable interaction, you replay what happened. Inspect your behavior. Imagine what others thought. And search for the exact point where everything went wrong. Some reflection is useful. It can help you recognize a genuine mistake and behave differently next time. But rumination is not the same as solving a problem. Problem-solving moves. Rumination circles. It asks questions that cannot produce reliable answers. Did they think you were stupid? Did everyone notice your voice shake? Was that pause too long? Why did one person look away at exactly that moment? There is no new evidence in the bedroom at 2 in the morning. So your brain fills the missing evidence with simulation. And simulation usually borrows the mood you already have. If you feel safe, the memory can look small and almost funny. If you feel tired, isolated, or anxious, the same memory can look like proof that something is fundamentally wrong with you. The event has not changed. The courtroom has. At night, the prosecution is awake, and most of the witnesses have gone home. Sleep researcher Allison Harvey proposed a cognitive model explaining how negatively toned thinking before bed can increase arousal and keep sleep at a distance. You worry. The worry makes you more alert. Increased alertness makes you monitor your thoughts, body, and environment. That monitoring reveals more reasons to worry. Now the embarrassing memory has a physical amplifier. Your heart feels louder. Your face may heat again. Your muscles tighten beneath the blanket. Because the body reacts, the memory seems current. Because it seems current, the body reacts more. You're lying safely in bed while your nervous system performs a social emergency drill. Then you make the most natural mistake possible. You order the memory to leave. Do not think about it. Stop replaying it. Go to sleep. That instruction sounds reasonable, but it contains a trap. In 1987, psychologist Daniel Wegner and his colleagues asked participants not to think about a white bear. Each time the forbidden bear entered their minds, participants signaled it. Suppression was difficult, and afterward the thought often returned with greater force. To check whether you are successfully not thinking about something, part of your mind has to keep searching for it. Is the memory gone? That question retrieves the memory. Is it gone now? There it is again. The guard assigned to keep the thought outside must repeatedly open the door to see whether it is waiting there. During the day, another task can interrupt this loop. At night, there may be nothing except you, the guard, and the door. This also explains why random old moments can suddenly return after years of silence. The memory may not have been secretly playing every night in some hidden chamber. A small cue can reactivate it. A phrase, a facial expression, a room with the same color, the sensation of being unable to sleep. Even the effort to search for something embarrassing can retrieve one example, which retrieves a second, which retrieves a third. Memory works through association. One doorway opens onto a corridor. But the memory you replay is not a perfect recording. Each retrieval is a reconstruction. Your brain rebuilds the event from stored fragments, current beliefs, emotional state, and later information. You remember the room, the reaction, and the terrible feeling of exposure. Then your present mind supplies confidence that everyone must have judged you. That confidence may not come from the original event at all. It may come from the 100 rehearsals afterward. The more often you remember remembering it, the harder it becomes to separate what happened from what the memory has come to mean. This is the counterintuitive part. The replay feels like evidence that the event remains socially dangerous. But the replay itself may be what keeps the danger feeling alive. Your brain treats frequent retrieval as a clue to relevance. If a memory keeps appearing, the system assumes it must matter. Then it keeps the memory accessible because it appears to matter. You become trapped in a relevance loop. And yet the original purpose was not cruelty. Your brain is trying to protect a social animal. It wants to prevent rejection, predict other people, and improve future behavior. It is examining old footage because old footage once offered useful clues. A failed greeting could reveal hostility. A broken promise could damage trust. A badly judged boast could lower status. Remembering social pain could help prevent its repetition. The problem is scale. An ancient system designed for a small, recurring group now operates inside a world containing classrooms, offices, group chats, video calls, comment sections, and strangers you will never meet again. Your brain can treat a minor mistake in front of temporary witnesses as if your entire tribe has updated its permanent record of you. But most observers never created that record. They went home and replayed themselves. The person who heard your voice crack may have spent the evening worrying about their own awkward answer. The person who watched you trip may remember the fall but not your face. The person who received the strange message may have understood what you meant and moved on before you finished composing the apology. Your embarrassment is vivid because it belongs to you. That does not make it visible to everyone else. So what actually changes the loop? Not winning an argument against the memory. Not proving that the event was objectively harmless. And not demanding that your brain delete it before morning. The first shift is simpler. Name the process instead of entering the trial. This is post-event processing. This is the spotlight effect. This is a tired prediction system reviewing a social error without new evidence. That description does not declare the memory pleasant. It changes your position inside it. You are no longer only the person on the stage. You are also the person noticing that the spotlight is exaggerated. The second shift is to replace the impossible question. Instead of asking what everyone thought, ask what useful information is actually available. Did you harm someone? Is there a repair you can make? Is there one specific lesson for next time? If the answer is yes, the memory can become a plan. If the answer is no, continued replay is not additional learning. It is the mental equivalent of checking a locked door after you already felt it click. The third shift is allowing the memory to exist without treating its arrival as an emergency. You can notice the image, the heat, and the urge to escape. You can let them pass without issuing the command that keeps checking whether they have disappeared. This sounds passive, but it removes the job that gives the thought repeated access to your attention. You do not have to erase the white bear. You stop hiring a guard to search for it. Over time, an embarrassing memory can change roles. It may remain accurate enough to teach you something. It may become funny. It may become evidence that you survived being seen imperfectly. Or it may simply become a strange scene starring a person who no longer exists in exactly the same form. That younger version of you had less practice, less information, and fewer ways to recover. Of course, that person made mistakes. Every social skill you now perform automatically was built from moments that once felt painfully visible. The forgotten name taught you to ask again. The failed joke taught you to read the room. The awkward apology taught you how to make a better one. Even the wave aimed at the wrong person taught you something useful about how quickly embarrassment fades when you keep moving. Your brain preserved the error because errors once mattered. It replays the scene because prediction once kept you inside the group. And it chooses the quietest hour because that is when nothing else is asking to be heard. So tonight, when the room is dark and a memory from 12 years ago walks back onto the stage, notice what is really happening. The past is not attacking you. An ancient social brain is trying, much too late and much too loudly, to make sure you never make the same mistake twice.